In every story, there is a villain. In Rumpelstiltskin, you already know who it is. A strange little creature who appears from nowhere, who spins straw into gold and asks for payment in return, who comes back to collect a baby, who dances in the forest singing his own name, who tears himself in two when he loses. He is grotesque. He is obsessive. He is the thing that frightens children. But here is the question this episode is going to ask, and it's a question the story itself raises, very quietly, if you read it carefully. What if Rumpelstiltskin is not the villain of this story? What if the villain is the king, who locks a girl in a room and tells her she will die unless she performs a miracle? What if the villain is the father, who invented the miracle in the first place, to impress a man he was trying to flatter? What if Rumpelstiltskin, the creature who helps her 3 times, who is moved by her tears, who gives her 3 additional days when he could simply take what was promised, is the only character in this story who behaves with any consistency or integrity? The story is 4,000 years old. Researchers at Durham University traced variants of this tale back to approximately 2000 BC, roughly the same era as the Epic of Gilgamesh. It is one of the oldest narratives in Western literature. And for all those thousands of years, the question of who the monster actually is has never been fully resolved. Tonight we read the original, and we let the story answer for itself. Most people think of Rumpelstiltskin as a Brothers Grimm story. And it is. They published it in 1812 as tale number 55 in their first edition. But the Grimms did not invent it. They collected it from oral tradition, as they collected everything, and the tradition they were drawing from was ancient. The story belongs to a category that folklorists call name of the helper tales, stories in which a supernatural figure assists a human in exchange for payment, and where the central dramatic tension involves discovering or concealing the helper's name. Variants of this pattern appear across Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and Africa. In England it is Tom Tit Tot. In Scotland, Whuppity Stewry. In Iceland, Gillatrut. In Arabic tradition, Joadane. In Slovakia, Martinko Klingak. The pattern is old enough that scholars believe it may encode a genuine historical anxiety about binding contracts with supernatural forces, about the power of names and magical traditions, about what it means to promise something you don't yet have. In almost every magical tradition in pre-modern Europe and the Near East, knowing something's true name gave you power over it. This is why angels in Jewish tradition guard their names carefully. Why fairies in Celtic mythology are called the fair folk rather than named directly. Why Rumpelstiltskin sings his name only when he believes he is completely alone. His name is his vulnerability, and the queen's discovery of it is not cleverness, but espionage. She doesn't guess his name. She has it told to her by a spy. The story rarely acknowledges this distinction, but it matters. The Grimms collected 4 separate oral variants of this story and combined elements from all of them into the version they published. One of those variants has a fascinating inversion. In it, the miller's daughter's problem is not that she cannot spin gold. It is that everything she touches turns to gold, and she cannot produce ordinary thread. The impossible demand runs the other direction. The king wants something she cannot stop producing rather than something she cannot produce at all. The version that survived, the one we know, was revised across all 7 editions the Grimms published between 1812 and 1857. The most significant change was the ending. In the 1812 original, when Rumpelstiltskin loses, he simply runs away angrily and never comes back. By the final 1857 edition, the ending had become the one most people know. He drives his right foot into the ground in rage, sinks to his waist, then seizes his left foot with both hands and tears himself literally in two. The 1812 ending is more ambiguous and, I would argue, more honest. He loses and he leaves. The 1857 ending is more satisfying dramatically, but it also conveniently eliminates the character who has been asking the most uncomfortable questions about everyone else's behavior. Let me tell you the story, and as I tell it, I want you to pay attention to what each character actually does. Not what the story tells you to feel about them, but what they actually do. There is a miller. He has a beautiful daughter. One day he is granted an audience with the king, a rare privilege for a man of his station, and he wants desperately to seem important, to seem like someone worth knowing. So he lies. "I have a daughter," he tells the king. who can spin straw into gold. He cannot know exactly what he has set in motion. He knows it is a lie. He knows his daughter has no such ability. He says it anyway, because the king is listening and he wants the king to be impressed, and this seemed like the most impressive thing he could say. The king's eyes light up. Gold is the one thing a king can never have too much of. He tells the miller to send his daughter to the palace the next morning. Think about what just happened. A man, to flatter a king, has just made his daughter the subject of an impossible expectation she knows nothing about. She wakes up the next morning and is sent to the palace. She doesn't know why. She arrives and is led by the king himself to a room piled floor to ceiling with straw. There is a spinning wheel in the center of the room. The king explains the situation with complete simplicity. "Spin this straw into gold by morning," he says, "or you will die." He locks the door. He leaves. The king is not presented as a villain in the traditional sense. He is simply a man who takes a boast at face value and applies the logic of his station. If you claim to have something I want, produce it. His threat, spin gold or die, is not unusual by the standards of the world the story inhabits. What makes it disturbing is its complete indifference to the girl as a person. She is not a human being to him. She is a resource her father claimed she had. If the claim proves false, she is disposed of. He has no interest in her beyond the gold she was said to be able to produce. She sits in the room surrounded by straw and begins to weep. She has no ability to spin gold. She has never claimed to have such ability. Her father invented it, and she is going to die for it by morning. The door is locked. The room is full of straw. She is weeping. Then the door opens. The text does not explain how, and a small man enters the room. He is described as a little man, a mannequin. The text gives no further physical description in the 1812 version. He is simply small, and he is there. "Good evening, miller's daughter," he says. "Why are you crying so bitterly?" She tells him. The king has ordered her to spin straw into gold. She cannot do it. She will be killed by morning. He considers this. Then he asks, "What will you give me if I spin it for you?" She looks at herself. She has the necklace around her neck. She offers it. He takes it. He sits at the spinning wheel. He works through the night. By morning, every spindle is full of gold thread. He is gone before the king arrives. The king arrives. He sees the gold. He is pleased and immediately greedy. He leads her to a second room, larger than the first, also full of straw. Same instruction. Spin it all into gold. By morning, or die. She is alone again, surrounded by more straw than the night before. Weeping again. The little man appears again. Same question, "What will you give me?" She has a ring on her finger. She offers it. He takes it. He spins through the night. Every spindle gold. He is gone before dawn. The king arrives. More gold than before. He is delighted. He leads her to a third room, the largest yet, straw from floor to ceiling. Same instruction, same threat, and then he adds something new. "If you succeed this time," he says, "you shall be my wife." The king is offering marriage. This is supposed to be good news, a poor miller's daughter becoming a queen. The text presents it as a reward. But look at what it actually is. A man who has locked a girl in a room 3 nights in a row and threatened to kill her each time is now proposing marriage. The relationship between them has consisted entirely of threats and gold. He does not know her name. He has never asked her a single question about herself. He wants to marry her because she can produce gold. The king's proposal is the story's most quietly disturbing moment, and it is almost always glossed over in retellings. He is not falling in love. He is acquiring an asset. A girl who can spin straw into gold is more valuable as a wife than as a corpse. His feelings for her, to the extent they exist at all, are entirely transactional. She will become his queen not because he loves her, but because she is useful. This is the man the story gives her a happy ending with. She is alone in the largest room, more straw than she could count. The little man appears for the third time. "What will you give me this time?" he asks. She has nothing left. The necklace is gone. The ring is gone. She has no jewelry, no possessions, nothing of value on her person. The little man looks at her, and he says, "Promise me your firstborn child." She hesitates. The text is specific about this. She doesn't agree immediately. She thinks. But what choice does she have? If she refuses, she dies before morning. The child doesn't exist yet. Who knows if she will ever have a child? Who knows if she will even survive long enough to marry? She is 19 years old. The text implies her age, locked in a room, facing death, and a strange creature is offering her a way out in exchange for a hypothetical future child she may never have. She agrees. He spins. Every spindle gold. He is gone. The king arrives in the morning, sees the gold, and keeps his word. He marries her. She becomes queen. Time passes. A year. She has a child. Beautiful, healthy, her first. She has forgotten, or tried to forget, the promise made in that room full of straw. Then the little man appears at her chamber door. "Give me what you promised," he says. Simply. No threat. No ultimatum. Just the statement of what is owed. The queen is devastated. She offers him everything else. All the wealth of the kingdom, riches beyond counting. He can have anything, everything, if he leaves the child alone. He shakes his head, and then he says something that the story rarely gets credit for. "I prefer a living creature," he says, "to all the treasures in the world." He prefers a living creature to all the treasures in the world. This is not the statement of a monster. This is the statement of someone who is profoundly, desperately lonely. A creature of enormous power who can spin straw into gold, who appears and disappears at will, who has lived presumably for centuries, and what he wants, more than anything, is a child to raise. He sees her tears. He is moved by them, and so he offers her something he is not obligated to offer, a chance. If she can guess his name within 3 days, she may keep the child. He will accept defeat and walk away. This offer is not in his interest. He has a valid contract. She promised him the child freely. He could simply take it. Instead, he creates an opportunity for her to escape the contract, because he sees her grief and cannot proceed without giving her that chance. This is the moment that makes Rumpelstiltskin the most morally complex figure in the story. He is owed the child. He offers to relinquish that claim if she can simply discover his name. By the logic of the contract, this is extraordinarily generous. By any human logic, it is the action of someone who still has enough capacity for compassion that he cannot take a child from a weeping mother without first giving her a way out. The king never offered her a way out of anything. Her father certainly didn't. Rumpelstiltskin, the monster, is the only character in this story who responds to her suffering. The queen spends 2 days guessing names. She sends messengers across the kingdom with lists of every name she can think of. Casper, Melchior, Balthazar, every name in every village. Common names, unusual names, names from history, names from legend. Each day the little man comes. Each day she reads her list. Each day he shakes his head. No, no, no. On the 3rd day, one of her messengers returns with a strange report. Deep in a forest, far from any road, he found a small fire burning in a clearing. Dancing around the fire was a little man, singing to himself. And the song he sang went like this: "Today I bake, tomorrow I brew. The day after that the queen's child comes to me. How lucky that nobody knows that my name is Rumpelstiltskin." The messenger brought back the name. Note what just happened. The queen did not guess his name. She did not figure it out through cleverness or memory or any quality of her own mind. A spy followed him into the forest, watched him dance alone, and reported what he heard. The resolution of the story, presented as the queen's victory, is the result of surveillance, not intelligence. Rumpelstiltskin was dancing alone in a forest, far from any human settlement, singing his name only because he believed with complete certainty that no one could hear him. He had no reason to think anyone was watching. He was not careless. He was simply, in that moment, alone, or believed himself to be. The next day, he comes to the queen for the 3rd time. She plays the game. She guesses wrong names deliberately, drawing out the suspense, watching his confidence grow. Then she asks, "Could your name perhaps be Rumpelstiltskin?" The text says, "The devil has told you that. The devil has told you that," he screamed. And in his fury, he drove his right foot into the ground so hard that it sank to his waist. Then he seized his left foot with both hands and tore himself in two. That is the 1857 ending. In the 1812 original, the version this series reads, He simply runs away angrily and never comes back. He loses. He leaves. The story ends more quietly, without the spectacular self-destruction. Both endings are the story's way of disposing of a character who has become inconvenient. He helped her 3 times. He offered her a chance she wasn't owed. He told her he preferred a living creature to all the world's treasures. And now he is gone, run away, or torn in two. And the story closes with the queen keeping her child and living happily with the king who threatened to kill her twice. Let me lay out what each character actually does in this story. The miller tells a lie that places his daughter in mortal danger to impress a king. He is never mentioned again after the first scene. He faces no consequences. He simply disappears from the narrative, having set everything in motion and escaped all accountability. The king locks a girl in a room 3 times and threatens to kill her each time if she fails to perform a miracle she never claimed she could perform. When she succeeds, through means he doesn't understand and never investigates, he proposes marriage. The story presents this as a reward. He treats her as property throughout. He is the most powerful figure in the story and the one who uses that power most carelessly. The queen, the miller's daughter, makes a promise in a moment of desperation and then tries to escape it when the moment of payment arrives. This is understandable. It is also a broken promise. The story invites us to cheer for her, and most of us do. But she did agree, freely, in full knowledge of what she was agreeing to. And then there is Rumpelstiltskin. He helps her 3 times without being asked. He negotiates fair payment each time. First for a piece of jewelry, then another, and on the 3rd night, when she has nothing left to offer, he asks for something he genuinely wants, a child to raise. He does not threaten her. He offers a trade, she accepts, and he fulfills his side completely. When he returns to collect, he is moved by her grief and creates an opportunity for her to keep the child, an opportunity he had no obligation to create. He gives her 3 days and accepts the terms of the name-guessing game in good faith. He loses through surveillance, not through any fair defeat. And then he is destroyed or driven away, and the story ends. If you strip away the visual presentation, the grotesque little man, the dancing, the strange name, and look only at behavior, Rumpelstiltskin is the character who behaves most consistently, most transparently, and most compassionately. He makes agreements and keeps them. He responds to suffering. He gives chances he isn't required to give. The 2 human men in this story, the father and the king, cause the crisis, exploit the solution, and face no consequences. The creature who helped her 3 times is destroyed for trying to collect what was fairly owed. Scholars have offered different readings of what Rumpelstiltskin represents. Some see him as a devil figure, the creature you bargain with in desperation and then must outwit to escape. Some see him as a stand-in for the demands of the supernatural world that humans try to cheat. Some read the name-guessing as a coming-of-age ritual. The queen gains maturity by confronting and naming her fear. The reading I find most honest is simpler. Rumpelstiltskin is a creature of enormous power and profound loneliness who wants one thing: companionship, a child to raise, a living creature that belongs to him, and who pursues that want through legitimate means. He helps. He negotiates. He keeps his promises. He even gives extra chances. And the story punishes him anyway, because the social order requires that the queen keep her child and live happily with her king, and he is in the way of that ending. The monster in this story is not the one who dances in the forest and sings his name. I mentioned at the start that variants of this story appear across at least a dozen cultures. It's worth spending a moment on what that means, because the differences between versions reveal what each culture was most afraid of. In the English version, Tom Tit Tot, the creature is explicitly described as a demon, something evil and to be feared. The girl outwits him through luck. The moral is clear. Demonic bargains can be escaped, and the story celebrates her escape without complication. In the Scottish Whuppity story, the helper is a fairy woman, not a small male creature. Her motivation is explicitly stated. She wants the girl's baby to raise as her own because she is lonely. The name-guessing resolution is the same, but the emotional weight is different. The Scottish tradition is more willing to acknowledge that the helper's loneliness is real and the resolution leaves her with nothing. In several Slavic variants, the creature does not want the child at all. He wants to marry the girl. The contract is not about a baby, but about a bride. This changes the nature of the thread entirely, and in some of these versions, the girl's discovery of his name frees her from an unwanted marriage rather than saving a child. In the Arabic variant, Joadain, the helper's motivation is never explained. He simply appears, helps, and demands. The mystery of his motivation is the point. The story is explicitly about the danger of accepting help from unknown sources without understanding what they want. What all these versions share is a structure built around debt. Someone needs help. Help is offered at a price. The price is paid, or a way is found to escape it. The story always ends with the human free of the debt. The helper is always left with nothing. Every version of this story, across 4,000 years and a dozen cultures, tells the same fundamental story. A person in crisis accepts supernatural help, makes a promise they later regret, and is ultimately relieved of that promise. The supernatural helper always loses. What changes between versions is whether the story acknowledges the injustice of that loss, whether it sees the helper as a demon to be defeated or a lonely creature to be pitied. The Brothers Grimm, in their 1812 version where he simply runs away, leave the question open. The 1857 version, where he tears himself apart, forecloses it. He must be monstrous, the ending insists. Otherwise, the queen and the reader might have to feel something more complicated than relief. The spinning wheel stops. The gold is made. The queen keeps her child. She lives happily with the king who threatened to kill her twice. Her father, who started everything with a lie, is never mentioned again. And Rumpelstiltskin, depending on which edition you read, either runs away into the darkness or tears himself in two. The story calls this a happy ending. What I notice, every time I read it, is the spinning wheel sitting empty in the room after he's gone. No one is at it. The straw has all been spun. The gold has been made and spent and forgotten. And somewhere, in a forest, far from any road, far from any fire, a small creature is alone again. Exactly as he was before she needed him. He preferred a living creature to all the treasures in the world. He got neither. These stories survived 1,000 years because people kept passing them on. If you want to help keep the real versions alive, like and subscribe. The next one is already coming.